Oh yeah, boys. This thing's all over the place right now. Company called Gong. You can find this on Pop Mart or AliExpress. Gong Gypsy Danger. The big gimmick to this one, besides the legs being able to do a forward kick, Bandai. Speaking of which, if you know, you know. We're at that's the GX77, I believe, Gypsy Danger. Love it. So when you see this one, it's a nice, clean kind of. We're going to compare it. I've already seen the Gong. I haven't opened this yet. So this is going to be the unboxing of this and a comparison. But what I'm getting at is this here. If you didn't, which this is not, if you didn't get this one broken at the left thigh or right thigh, I think it's the left thigh, like just loose, already snapped, but it's holding on loosely with the bolt, you're lucky. Second of all, don't try to move him in a forward kick. I've had good friends tell me that they've, people who open up the robots, look at everything. It's a huge thing. Huge QC issue for Bandai. So this thing is only going to basically stay more or less in a museum pose. The chest moves in and out when you move the arms forward. It has some articulation. So again, we're going to get into it and compare. But these, I don't know I think Gong might be like a KO company or whatnot. But I'm telling you, the KO companies are getting better and better. And this GX77 here, Gypsy Danger, we're going to compare it. Like I said, this has less panel lining. Probably the paint's amazing, but a little less paint. I don't think when you move the legs forward here, you'll see with the Gong, they open up and you can see the inside pistons. All right, so here's the nice slip cover. The box is packaged nicely. I'm not going to lie. Styrofoam inside, already loving it. Here's the back of the box here. Directions. Look at that. I love how they do a Ziploc bag so you can open and close it. Take that off here. Look at that. I'm going to just try to pull it open from the bottom. Before I open the top, the back has a cool tray. Nice. So that's kind of what you see when you open it up. Boom. Now for the big reveal. I'm going to open that in a second. Look at that graphic in the front. That's nice. Doo-doo-doo-doo. What? Oh man, get ready for this. You know me, I'm probably not going to fuck with too much of the accessories, even though there's not a ton, but I think there's just enough. He comes with swords that bend. These are the straight, stiff swords. So that's actually cool. I didn't know he came with these. So you don't have to worry about getting the non-stiff swords perfectly straight. You can always, So that's nice. Yep, Pop Mart. They branded their own silicone packets. So, Pop Mart, Gong. I don't know if one's the distributor. I know Pop Mart is the online store or whatnot. This is how he comes right out of the box. So you'd have to put the shoulders on. Look at that. It's not just a generic numbers on everything. See, there's actually a back with no number and the numbers on the front. So that's kind of cool. You'd see some places just print it. Battery. Ooh, batteries included in this. I don't know how some places can ship with batteries and some places can ship without. This is definitely taller. We're going to get measurements on this and do a comparison. This is about, not even, I'd say an inch taller. But again, we'll compare it. Here's this. Pull out the batteries, which I'm going to end up taking out anyway because I don't want them to go bad after a while. So the only assembly you have to do is the head and the shoulder pads. Okay. Nice packaging. This already looks better than the Soul of Chogokin, I think. I mean, the lines, you have the panel linings. I mean, these arms just look amazing. A lot of, I'm not saying this is KO, I'm just off subject, whatever. A lot of KO companies, and if this is kind of a KO or whatever, but it had the legendary logo on the box. This opens too. Yeah. I know it slides open. Oh, there it is. Look at that. I mean, Solar Chogokin doesn't do that. That's the difference. The leg, the QC issue on the SoC, devastating. You really can't pose it. So I put them on, and again, we'll get to it, but I put them on that stand from Hasbro, and that is a perfect stand for him. I had one with a broken leg, and I was able to, you wouldn't even notice. So what's nice is this Hasbro stand, it's clear, which is my favorite. Less of the stand you see, the better. And the other thing, oh, this is going to be a little tight. Okay, there it is. The other thing, it's a solid figure. So this is more of a die-cast frame, like a metal build. And it is cool. All right, no, that's a little, okay. Thought it was scratched or something, just a little, not paint, something. Look at this. Let's get the head on and we'll get a close-up. So I think it has a magnet attachment. Look at that. I'm going to push this in first so I'm not stressing anything out. That's so fucking cool, man. Definitely worth getting. So here we go. I sold my original NECA. Let me get this guy over here. So the big feature with this is the reactor, which we are going to start up. I think this thing came with batteries. It has a magnetic piece, I think, to activate the things. There's so much going on right now. This thing is so cool. It's not beefier. It's a little wider in the chest, but I'm not going to say beefier. That wouldn't be a good explanation. Let me slowly go through this stuff here. Okay. Gypsy Danger's on that stand I was telling you about. So here's the real comparison, plus I'll get a measurement. So I'd say he's, let's say, an inch taller than the Gypsy Danger SoC. This is the big gimmick where this spins, fires up, and changes color. So I'm definitely going to do that if I have the batteries. You know, I watched a couple videos on this guy, and I got to fucking find out where the batteries are and shit. Technology's getting better. This is another thing I wanted to go over. The articulation with the hands. I mean, guys. Individual finger articulation. Seriously? Everything gets the RoboCop theme. This is so sick, man. This is my Like serious, top 5 movies is Pacific Rim. All right, the things I wanted to go over quickly. I sold my NECA back in the day. So I had the NECA figures. They were really fucking cheap. They were about 6-7 inch figures. They were just basically put on your shelf, don't touch. While I'm telling you this, so I got rid of those in I don't want to, not Infinity Studios, the Heavy Mecha series. Maybe it's Infinity. Heavy Mecha series is coming out with like a 12-inch line. I've done Crimson Typhoon and most recently Cherno Alpha unboxing on those two. Check out those 2 videos if you haven't seen them. That's the line to get. This right here and the Flame Toys Korakari, I think it's called, Gypsy Danger, where you can swap out the Cherno Alpha, Crimson Typhoon, the chest piece. That's kind of cool, but it's, again, it's around the SOC scale, and I'm trying to get away from that. I'm trying to go bigger on the scales. I'm like at least 9-inch or more. The reason why I got this guy here, the Gong, is he's an anomaly. The reactor, it's cool. I'm not going to pretend it's not. It's cool. It's not the reason why I got this. I got this for almost everything else. The reactor was cherry on the cake. This is what the SOC, I believe, should have been. Okay? If SOC did a metal frame, it'd be similar to this. Maybe a little more metal. I don't know. But some idiot online, I asked if it was made out of, if it was any die cast. He said no. So then it turned me off from even looking at this figure for a while. Obviously, he got the figure and doesn't know what he's talking about. Doesn't know what he's doing. I mean, it says right on the box, die cast. But anyway, so we have that. So if you're going to get something, at least know a little bit about what you're talking about, right? Metal frame, die cast here. Die cast in the arms. We're going to get height and weight on these. And here's another thing the SOC doesn't do. Look at that. Look at those fucking pistons. This. Look at that. Now I'm going to show you, and be careful because you don't want the hips rubbing on the back here. All right? So what you want to do is another thing. Look, another reason why I got this. Just look at the panels come out. See that? So you can pose them even more. This thing has a lot going on, guys. A lot going on. Look, you cannot do that with the SOC. You cannot put the leg forward. If you put it forward, it's going to snap. And it holds. Friction joints. Watch this. This thing's a beast. So the only thing disappointed in a little bit is that head movement. Even with it open, he can't look up. You get a little side to side. Oh, here's the battery compartment. The brain. So batteries should be all set and all in it. I mean, this thing's a fucking beast. Look at that. He's ready to pounce. I mean, I barely posed him and he looks cool. I mean, the articulated hands. This thing is so cool. Yes, you can take off the forearms to swap out for the plasma blaster. And I'm not sure. Yeah, I think these open. So look, yeah, just spread it easily apart here. Look at that. And it's nice tight joints. Look, there's the sword port. Right there. Just because I have a sword here, I'm going to put it in. It's just too easy. How's this? Boom. You get that back on. Look at that. Little like piston in there, canister. Little mechanism for the chain sword. Look at that. Sing! Fucking dope as fuck, man. This guy's cool as shit. Yup. Definitely get it. Worth it. Armor panel. Oh my god. This guy is really cool. So the only thing I don't care for is the scale. But again, this thing was such a cool figure. NECA first came out. Like the only toy out there for Pacific Rim. I got him. Favorite movie. Love it, right? Shit toys. Then Diamond Select came out with the Pacific Rim Uprising. The newest one now, too, is the Lin Gong figures. So those are basically like comparing almost loosely the SOC, which came out years ago, and the Ling John is like the same height, everything. I don't want to say the same mold. They look very similar, but the Ling John, the quality looks way better on the plastics. And I haven't found out until a while that what was I gonna say? I honestly just recently found out that NECA was using like just cheap plastics and shit. I thought they were a good company. I guess they are in a way, but it's like a lot of their shit seems to break, have QC issues, whatever. I thought they were something special, but I mean, they probably are because they get the licensing. It's like if you guys remember Nintendo back in the day, remember LJN? They had the license for all these games, but they were all fucking super shitty. But they had like X-Men, they had like all these cool licenses that people could have done a lot more with, but I don't know, every game they came out with seemed to be shit. Alright, let me try to turn this reactor on. Get a little bit of a pose going here. Again, the SOC Gypsy Danger is not really posable, but I did want to bring it out so you can see this paint comparison, the panel lining. Again, this would be like looking at a NECA figure compared to the Ling John. You're just getting a lot more detail. It looks a lot more movie accurate. I mean, this looks like, compared to this now, this looks more toyish. Even though this thing is, it's heavy metal, it's good quality. Other than, if it didn't have that leg QC issue, this is amazing. But when I'm comparing it now, tell me he doesn't look more like Striker Eureka with those colors. Solar Chogokin, you can push this in and it would light up. Pulse, I think, blink. But that's it. This thing's going to get going. This thing's going to fucking spin, light up, change colors. It's going to look amazing. Oh, yeah. Look at that. That's fucking cool. So, that's cool, guys. This thing is, I'm going to tell you right now, this thing is superposable. So the batteries, you know, unfortunately, I am going to have to take out because I don't want it to get ruined. Look at that, man. Like I said, I had to get this just because it just seemed, you know, it's so cool. Like the way the Heavy Mecha series, I'm sure that's going to be really cool as well. All right. Oh, I think that's the wrong arm. Sick. So So what I'm going to do is once I light this bitch up, I'm going to shut off all the fucking lights. You know what? All right, let me turn this off for now. So here's the accessory pack. The chain swords you can bend. You have some plasma effects for the hand. Let me see. I'll throw one on. I'll do it for you guys. So you would light this up, put that on. That's what I'm going to do in a second. And I'm sure it could click on better, but you know what's nice? Which I'll fiddle with in a second. But I mean, you could just put it on and it works. So you can have it go that way, or you can have it match up with the fingers. Whatever you want to do. Oh my God, look at this, guys. Look, it looks like it's arcing through the fingers. That's attention to detail. That's fucking cool. Listen, if you guys, let me be straight with you. If you guys are fans of Pacific Rim and you don't like this thing, that'll be absolutely crazy, because right now, before Infinity Studios, mark my words, this is the best Gypsy Danger on the market. Best Gypsy Danger on the market. Even if the SoC did not have the QC issue, best Gypsy Danger on the market. There's panels and shit on the SoC that I can't even, keep on. Some of the panels are loose. Like, you can take the panels off and switch them on the plasma caster, and they're just very sensitive. So it's just, I think it looks better. I took it off just so you can see more of the exposed engine. There's supposed to be a piece in that slit, but it kind of comes off easy, and it's just whatever. And you know what? It looks just as good to me without it. Looks a little more mechanical. You also get the stand that bends, so he can do all kinds of jumping poses, flight type of stuff. Just so you don't think that this comes with anything, this is a separate Bandai stage act stand. So here's what you get with the figure. Just this. You can put the stand in there, and it's kind of cool because it seems like it's a little, almost like a hanger base. You can put all the accessories on there. See all the hands and shit? Swap it out. Okay. It's pretty straightforward. Connects on like that. Put the extra hands. So the Flame Toys, I was like, I don't really care for the arm attachments. It's a smaller... Their whole gimmick was being able to put the different attachments from the other robots, like the arms, the chest plate. But between the price, the scale, I'm like, if I'm going to get one, I'd rather get this one. It just looks better. So this would go where? Here? Yep, so this goes here like that. So you do have to have that back piece on, because these don't slide onto the stand. They slide onto the actual back piece. So that's kind of cool little hanger. I guess maybe if you put it with that, looks a little better. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I might keep the stand out just for shits and giggles. All right, Gong, Gypsy Danger. We're at that with the plasma caster hand. I'm not gonna, it's fine. And then SoC Gypsy Danger. So the Gong weighs a little more. Granted, there are some batteries in it, but not much. So let's say they weigh about the same. See, now compared to him or her, this looks more like comic book, easily able to draw, simple. And then this looks like it came right out of the movie. I mean, you have the paint accuracy. I mean, you have the paint on there. It just doesn't show up at all. It's too light. Yep, look at the difference. All right, we're looking at the gong is 10 3/4 to the back of the headpiece, and the SOC is 9 3/4. So yeah, I was pretty accurate when I said an inch higher or taller. Please like, share, subscribe, sub up. We got new robots coming in. We got big action Grand Model Guy King coming in. That's been delayed for almost a fucking year now. We have what else do I have coming in? I have a couple other things coming in too. Some good shit. Let me see. There's a new, if you guys know about the Blitzway Astro Boy, there's a new company doing basically the same type of figure where you could take everything off, it lights up, but it's articulated. So that looks really cool coming up. There's a big action grand scale, who is it? Grendizer coming out that I'm probably going to be getting. So I'm getting into the bigger stuff. I don't want to go anything smaller than, the 9-inch, more or less. They stand out better on the shelf. I mean, a lot of little robots clustered together, to me, isn't too appealing. The only reason why I get any versions of any of the smaller robots that I have is, like I said before, they're really cool, or they don't have a bigger counterpart. What's cool about this Gypsy Danger, I know I'm definitely getting the whole in heavy mecha line, but this one he's right in that sweet spot where he's not too big, not too small, so he can kind of make it by floating around. He's not going to take up too much space. The Infinity Studio is going to take up some space, but this guy, the features are too cool. Again, please like, share, subscribe. I'm going to show you two more things before I get out of here. This is that Hasbro stand. You can get these on AliExpress as well. So this, and if you want it really stiff, you can also glue it down if you're going to use it for a figure. Just be careful because sometimes this breaks off. So I glued this on so it's nice and sturdy because I'm keeping this on the SOC. This is his stand as far as I'm concerned. So right at the butt, watch how perfect this was made for it. It's not going to damage the figure. Look, it claws behind there nicely. It hooks in. It's so simple. I actually used this stand as well for the last figure where the leg was broken. Although it could stand on itself with the broken leg, the stand just gave it that much more stability. So, again, the SOC compared to the Gong, see these are kind of, it's just, that's kind of loose. I mean, the Gypsy Danger, like a lot of SOC stuff when they came out before, used to be good. I mean, the quality's there. It's just some shit, man. Anyway, I'm getting tired of just spending the money on, figures that you're supposed to think are good, or companies living off of their reputation. That's what really pisses me off about the Bandai stuff. They're supposed to be a great company, but then you have other companies out here crushing them when it comes to the QC. I heard there was a changing of guard at Bandai. That's why the designs are whack. They just seem to be doing really slow right now. They're stepping aside, letting these other companies step on them rather than trying to keep up with it. I mean, a company will come out with an awesome figure, and then you got Bandai coming out with a shin getter after how many people, just did one. It's flood the market, and then you're just not really bringing anything new to the table. So I wanted to show you that stand there. Now, this thing just looks so cool. You can pose it. So it almost has that stylized, I think, a little bit like the Flame toys, but it's staying truer to the design. All right, here we go. We're going to light up this reactor. There's a button right on the back. I just want to say I'm going to do it all out. I'm doing all the lights for you guys. I'm going to celebrate my 800 subscriber. I want to thank all you guys and ladies for subbing to my channel, bearing with me. I know I don't, usually go through all the figures thoroughly, but I'm telling you, if you can tell by my reaction, my voice, if I'm excited about a figure, then it's good. All figures are going to have their, QCs here or there. But overall, for me, if the design weighs out the QC, if something's really good that overtakes the really bad or shitty part of it, then I'm going to give it a pass. Let me hook these up for my 800 subscriber here. And a thank you. I'm putting on all the lights. I know I normally don't go all out on the figures, but this has the battery in it. So I'm going to do all the lights, the face, the plasma caster, and I'm going to light up this reactor. I haven't done it yet. I'm going to do it live on camera with you guys. No second takes, okay? Gypsy danger. So what happened, I took the head back off because you saw me pull this out, but it still wasn't working. So I took it off. I just touched the batteries with a spudger and it was fine. I think they were just not 100% in place. So I'm going to get the head back on. I'm going to light this up. I'm going to press the button when I come back with you guys. And one last thing. The only thing I don't really care about is the articulation in the neck. It is what it is. It's because it's an oval design maybe. I mean, this is as far as he can look up, but if you want to give him some, still really no, because I think that's meant for when they're getting into it and not really to help him articulate. But anyway, let's get it going. So the left vent here is what you're going to press in for the reactor. These you push in, saw that earlier, and you're going to push in the actual yellow visor for the headpiece to light that up. All right. And it's not a huge deal. This is the top of the head fits on nicely. It's not like it's doing anything. It is a little loose. So, I mean, if you want to take a little extra precaution just to make sure it stays on, use some Kiki in there if you want.